Keeping the Focus, an action research project by David Kripe. The first thing I want you to do is close your eyes. Now imagine you are teaching a class and the particular lesson is a lecture-based lesson. Now I know that we all think that they are a pain, but occasionally we have to do them. As you are lecturing, most of the class is engaged and following along. You are thinking to yourself how great it is to be reaching so many students. Right as your confidence reaches its high, you walk by the desk of one student and instead of taking notes like he's supposed to be doing, he is drawing a picture. You calmly redirect his focus back to the task and continue on with your lecture. You make the mental note to make an effort to walk by the student's desk more often and make sure that he is on task. After another sweep, you realize he is again drawing and not taking notes. At this point, it is time for you to reach back and find a way to keep the student's focus on you. Go ahead and open your eyes. Now, if you noticed the pictures during that segment, then you weren't doing what I asked, but I couldn't just leave the screen blank. Go ahead and recall a moment in the classroom when this has happened to you. If you've been a teacher for longer than 5 minutes, then I know your brain is more than full of memories like that. My goal for this action research was to set out and eliminate that lack of focus with one particular student. While I acknowledge that there's no perfect way to keep every student's focus all the time, heck, I'm sure that most of your minds have wandered while watching this video. Honestly, mine has while making it. With that in mind, I set out to determine if playing a simple game of catch could positively impact the attention span of this student. While I was substitute teaching, I was given the opportunity to teach in the same classroom for 2 straight weeks, while a teacher was out sick. That allowed me the opportunity to use him as a test subject. This was the jumping point for this study. I selected the student, and I even selected this change agent, although I cannot say that I did so with forethought, as the change agent was selected on a whim, much like the situation that opened this video. Prior to introducing the change agent, I spent a week running the class as it is always run, keeping a close eye on the student and redirecting him when the situation called for it. I did this for an entire week, keeping track of the amount of times I was forced to refocus the student's attention. The results were shocking. In that week alone, I had to refocus his attention an average of 17.2 times throughout the day, needing as many as 22 times to only 13 one day. Keep in mind that I wasn't lecturing throughout the whole day. These notes are from only times I was lecturing. This was such a problem because of the lack of education he was receiving. It also compounds the fact that he is not the only student who needs more attention in the class. Some of the other students have the same issue he has, while others need confirmation that they are doing things correctly. It was at the end of the week that I realized that I needed to change something, not only for my sanity's sake, but for the benefit of the rest of the class. It came to me earlier that week, but I knew I needed a week worth of data, so I hadn't instituted the change just yet. But I had determined that one of the students' favorite things about school was PE. And I had substitute taught for PE, so I had seen how athletic he was. Knowing that he was an athletic kid, I thought that he would not only enjoy a game of catch, he would also be good at it. So the following Monday I decided that this is what we would do. Anytime I was lecturing and the student only needed to be listening, I would take an inflatable globe and toss it back and forth with that student. The second week went by really smooth. After instituting the change, the student had a much easier time keeping his focus on me and the task at hand. As you look at the results, you notice that the numbers decreased every day, while the average number of times I had to refocus the student decreased to 6.2 times a day. While a decrease of 11 opportunities does not seem like a significant decrease, it allowed me the chance to use my time working or redirecting a different student, so overall attention and performance increased. So while I thought this would be an effective method for keeping the student's focus and the results indicated that it was, I am not saying that this is the best method to use at all times. While it was great for this particular student, issues arose when other students had a desire to be included in our game of catch. I then had to make a decision if I should include them, which could distract from the overall classroom learning, or exclude the other students and make them feel inferior or even angry. The other issue that came up was if the student or I made a bad throw or did not catch the globe. The thing then bounded around the room, either knocking something over or hitting another student, and this caused the class to laugh and was an overall distraction, as I then had to redirect all their attention back to what we were working on. That doesn't mean that there was nothing positive to take away from the study. The results indicated that it was an effective method, and I also liked having to keep my attention on the lesson as well as playing the game of catch, and feel that at times it made me a better teacher. I enjoyed the challenge and now have an idea for a short-term method that could work in future circumstances.